All right, so this is my home network, and this is actually the last time you're going to see it like this because I'm going to be doing an upgrade today. I'm going to put in the Dream Machine Special Edition, which will replace the Security Gateway Pro and the Cloud Key Gen 2 Plus with one unit that does all that together. And it'll have even more features, more speed, etc. So I'm going to get this swapped out, and I'll show you guys how it turned out. Okay, I'm back, and it's actually a few days later. So after installing the Dream Machine Special Edition, I decided to make a couple other changes as well. So I'm going to go over what I did. So basically, my access point has a 2.5 gig uplink. And in order to take advantage of that, I had to order a few more parts. So here's what I did. So normally, you have your internet connection coming in here to this WAN port, which is rated for 2.5 gig right there. And this port right here is also a WAN port where your internet connection can come in. So I had to get this SFP Plus to RJ45 transceiver. And now my internet is coming in here. And this port right here, you can reassign to being a LAN port. So that's what I did. And there's one other thing I had to do to actually make this work, because the access point is PoE plus powered, and this port normally does not provide any power. So behind this brush panel here, there's a PoE plus injector, and it's also rated for 2.5 gig. I actually didn't know there was such a thing as speed ratings on PoE injectors, but I guess there is. I don't honestly know if it actually makes any difference inside the unit or if they just put a 2.5 gig sticker on it. But regardless, it was only seriously like $5 more, so I just went and got it for the supposed 2.5 gig support. So that's done. And then there's one other thing I did. Basically, just while I was making the order, I went ahead and got what's called the uplink cable right here. So this is actually one continuous piece. So before, I was using a fiber cable, which is fine and all, but it was only had SFP transceivers on it. So this one is SFP plus that can support up to 10 gig. So in the future, when I get a switch that actually has 10 gig support, I'll be able to do that. For now, to be honest, is basically just to make it look a little better and to have the 10 gig for when I can actually use it there. So there's one other little quirk I just wanted to talk about while we're on this topic. So when you reassign this port to being a LAN port, for whatever reason, the software requires you to change this port right here, port 8, to being a WAN port as well. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess they just wanted to keep it where you can definitely have two internet connections coming in. I would have personally preferred to keep this as a LAN port, because I don't know if I'm ever going to actually use this for internet coming in. Even if I did, it would be limited to 1 gig, which is fine and all. It's just that these right here are obviously much faster. You got 2.5 and a 10 gig normally as WAN ports here, but that's just what the software does. There's no options, so that's just capped off for now. It'll probably never get used, but that's fine. So these ports right here are already spoken for. Those are going to get used, and I just kind of reconsolidated things here, moved some cables around. Got plenty of ports left on my 24 port switch down here. At some point, I'm probably going to make another upgrade which will be either upgrading the switch entirely or just adding another switch that has some more 2.5 gig ports on it, because at some point I am going to need that. But for now, I just went ahead and did it this way, and this is going to work just fine for the time being. So before I ordered these parts, this transceiver, that PoE injector that's back here, and this uplink cable, I actually went down the rabbit hole of considering getting just like a 4-port 2.5 gig switch, which, depending on the model, would probably need a PoE injector as well. I went from that all the way up to like a $450 switch that has some 8 gig ports on it. But then I decided, for now, since I found that you can reassign this 2.5 gig here to being a LAN port, that I was just going to go that route, and that'll get me going where everything's operating at the potential speed that it can, at least on the LAN side anyway, because honestly I don't have a 2.5 or greater internet connection coming in, but for LAN speeds this does work. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, got some value out of it, and thanks for watching.